Merlin Season 6, Chapter 3, The Crystal, Original Audio and Video. The Crystal. Merlin became aware of other elves standing to one side of the clearing. They were carrying rugs and baskets filled with food. I have prepared some refreshment for you before you enter the circle. I do not know how long you will be gone, but you are tired and should rest a while. I will continue my story while you eat. She sat on a rug and gestured for Merlin to do the same. She passed him a plate of berries and bread and poured water into a silver goblet. Merlin picked at the food. He wasn't really hungry. He looked at the elf. She did not seem so tall or otherworldly, sat on the rug with a goblet in her hand. The crystal, it went black. Why? He asked, not sure if he really wanted to know. The crystal is the source of all magic, and magic can be light or dark. These forces are always fighting to control the crystal's power. For now light is stronger and good prevails. If the dark becomes dominant, then evil will prevail. Whether good or evil rules, the balance will remain, but now the balance has been threatened. I can tell you more if you would hear it, she said, taking a sip of water. Merlin nodded. He picked up his own goblet and took a sip of the water. It was cold and refreshing. I will tell you what I can and what I think it is necessary for you to know. The Lake of Avalon is a gateway into the world of the immortals. All immortals are creatures of magic. Unlike humans, the immortal races cannot live without magic. If the crystal was destroyed, then we would die, she said, placing her goblet on the grass. Can the crystal be destroyed? Merlin asked. Even here he could feel its power. It was almost destroyed before, when the high priestess tore the veil to the spirit world. The spirits she released drew on the power of the crystal, draining it and almost destroying it, she replied. Lancelot sacrificed his life to close the veil, Merlin said, putting his goblet down and picking up another berry. He didn't. The crystal was able to recover its power. The crystal is now in danger once more, and the balance is threatened again, she said, tearing off a piece of bread. What do you mean? Merlin asked, putting the berry in his mouth. They were sweet and juicy, but he didn't feel very hungry. All the worlds linked to Avalon have magic, and they draw on the crystal for power, and the crystal thrives while there is magic on those worlds. Although its power is great, it needs magic to survive. Without the crystal, these worlds will die, and without the magic on these worlds, the crystal will die. What about the world I came from? He asked. Your world is a key world, and the fight between the light and the dark is strongest there. What prevails in your world determines the fate of all the other worlds. The Lake of Avalon lies in the world that you and Arthur came from. Avalon and your world share a bond. Immortals can walk in your world, but we cannot pass the veils to the other worlds. Mortals from your world that die can be brought here to rest on their journey to the spirit world. I'm not dead, am I? Merlin asked, looking back towards the crystal. No, you are not dead, Merlin, Alba said, smiling at him. So why am I here? He asked, refilling his goblet with water from the jug. You are far more powerful than you realize, young warlock. You have the power to walk in many worlds. Even I, an immortal, cannot do so. Of all the mortals to have walked your world, very few have seen the Lake of Avalon as it really is, and only you have ever visited the sacred isle as a living man. Only the will of the triple goddess can allow a mortal to visit here unharmed. Merlin jumped to his feet, knocking his plate over, and moved away from the elf. Morgana was a high priestess of the triple goddess, and I killed her, he said, looking around and expecting an attack, but the other elves were nowhere to be seen. Merlin, you have no need to fear me. You know in your heart that I mean you no harm. Please sit, we have very little time, and there is much more you should know, Alba said. Merlin looked at her, then sighed and sat back down. Why have you brought me here? He asked again, picking up the berries that had fallen from his plate. He set it aside. What little appetite he'd had was gone. You must try to understand, Merlin. The triple goddess is not as she may seem. She is three-sided, and although she can influence the minds of mortals, it is man that determines what is done in her name, not the goddess herself. What do you mean? He asked. The triple goddess is not one but three. These are three sisters, are separate entities, but they are interwoven, and one cannot live without the others. I don't understand, Merlin said, looking confused. I will show you, so you can understand why you were brought here, she said. So thank you for watching. Please do not forget to like our video. Then subscribe my channel. And press the bell icon for new upload.